Hi, this is Das from Das Edu. Today I'll start the new course Introduction to IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, so this is a very special auspicious day as Dol Yatra right today. Okay, so on this particular auspicious day, I am starting this course Introduction to IoT. So let us start the course. So what is the things we have chosen here? So till date, we are discussing about some internet, and the internet means what? So this is the connectivity through some internet protocol, maybe IPv4 or IPv6, like that, where we were connecting some devices, maybe your smartphone, maybe your computer, laptop, etc., that were connected into your network. And as per the protocols, these particular devices were working. But now we will talk about the Internet of Things. So these particular things are basically some physical devices to be connected through the internet. And these particular physical devices may be some sensors, maybe some smart applications, maybe some industrial machines, vehicles, and more. And the thing is that here the things are basically some physical devices which can communicate, collect, and share the data without human intervention. So these particular devices will be connected towards the internet, and with some protocol, these particular devices will work. Maybe supposed to be, I am guessing one system which will give you some controlling of your air conditioner as per the ambient temperature. Okay, so now if there is a sensor outside this uh, particular AC or air conditioner over there. Okay, so whenever this particular sensor senses that there is some increase of temperature rather than the set point, this particular sensor will send the signal towards the systems that this ambient temperature is higher than the set point. Then as per the control system or things, as per the system, this particular uh, AC will be turned on and will try to cool down the ambience. Okay. So over here, we will try to connect the sensors, some smart applications, some industrial machines, vehicles, and more. Okay. So the Internet of Things, in my last point, I have written is that the network of physical objects or things embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity enables these objects to collect and exchange data. Okay, so now what it allows the objects to be sensed, controlled remotely across the existing network infrastructure by creating opportunities for more direct integration between the physical world and the computer-based system, and by resulting in improved efficiency, accuracy, and economic benefits. So now the things in IoT will sense can refer to a wide variety of devices such as the heart monitoring implant, maybe some biochip transponders on farm animals, electric trams in coastal waters, maybe automobile with built-in sensors, maybe DNA analysis device for environmental or food or pathogen monitoring, or maybe field operations devices that assist firefighters in search and rescue operations. Okay, So now the IoT ecosystem. In these particular devices, we can see that there are some physical devices, maybe the smart wearable, maybe the smart things. Wearable means the particular smart watches or the other things that can sense your important health data. Okay. Then some smart things, maybe your car, maybe the refrigerator, maybe your home, etc., etc. These smart things will be sending the data which is read from, maybe supposed to be from your smart wearable. It collects your heart data and sends to your smartphone. Okay, so this smartphone or other smart devices will collect the intermediary communication and processing devices. It processes the data such that the intelligible data can be sent to the cloud. Okay, and these particular smart wearables nowadays can directly communicate with the cloud, like that any smartwatch designed by maybe Apple or Samsung, these particular smart wearables or smart watches have the capability of having one SIM card also, which can directly sends the data towards the cloud by using internet. Okay, so there are two versions available on the smart wearables designed by either Samsung or Apple, maybe. Okay, these are either only some GPS version without the SIM facility, and there is another version with the same facility, SIM card facility that can send directly this particular health data towards directly to the cloud. Okay, so over here I have taken another point or another arrow from smart wearables towards the cloud right here, right now. Okay, so now in this particular cloud, this will either data sends the data towards the data archive, okay, or storage, or maybe this particular data can be sent for visualization, presentation, or recommendation, like that, like that. So one example we can have over here, like that, if one patient is right now at Kolkata, okay, but his doctor may be visiting somewhere else, maybe at New Delhi, and this particular patient should be taken care of his heart condition 24/7, and the doctor is not eligible to get the data while he is visiting at Delhi. Okay, so the thing is that this particular example of IoT system is that the patient should wear some smart watch or smart wearable so that his heart health or heart data can be communicated directly to the cloud or through some intermediary communication and processing devices. This particular data will be uploaded to the cloud. Now, as per the physician's uh, time or convenience, he can check whether the patient is doing well or not. If not, there may be some alarm system the doctors may have, that whether the patient is deteriorating his condition, then some alarm will goes on, like that, like that. And there is some actuator system obviously such that the alarm will be raising. Okay, so over here, whenever the patient is feeling some unhealthy or unwell, okay, then and then the doctor will be able to check the patient condition by such alarm condition, which is directly connected to the cloud by the IoT ecosystem, and that particular data can be stored to some storage. Okay, so this particular example of health IoT is over here, where from directly from the smart wearables, the physicians can get the data of the patient, and he can immediately take action as per patient condition. Okay. So this is one example over here. Now, some brief history of IoT. So this IoT basically started on some internet, either or without internet, this Internet of Things is nothing. Okay. So in 1970s, the first wireless network developed, and the groundwork for IoT technology was developed. Okay. So in 70s, right back, the first wireless network developed. Then in 1980s, the first commercial cellular networks were launched in the form of 1G, okay, opening up new possibilities for mobile devices and wireless data transmission. In 1990s, the first internet-connected devices appeared, including early version of smartphone devices, wearable computers, etc., etc. In 2000s, the proliferation of broadband internet and wireless networks leads to an explosion to the number of connected devices. So until unless there is some broadband devices, this particular and wireless networks, this particular number of connected devices was not increasing in number. Okay. So in 2000s, the broadband internet and wireless networks given an extra mileage in the way of IoT. In 2010s, IoT became a major force in consumer market, which produces like Nest thermostats and Amazon Echo, which became popular household items. Okay, and in recent 2020s, the IoT landscape continues to evolve with the spreading of 5G networks beginning to be rolled out and new applications for IoT technologies emerging constantly. And the most recent news is that in India, Starlink is actually working with Jio and what Airtel, the giants in Indian market, the telecom giants in Indian markets, to give much more opportunity in IoT devices. And this particular news as of today on 14th March, here in India, Starlink has started working with Amazon, with Airtel and Jio, okay, Reliance Jio. So in recent future, in 2025, we can see that India is growing much more with IoT. And in recent days, maybe in the next year or in 2 years, coming 2 years, in 2027, by 2027, we will have 6G network, and you can imagine what will be the speed of internet and how the physical things or sensors can be connected. As you may know that while we send the data of any devices, physical devices, maybe of sensor, this includes a huge chunk of data. Okay, so if the bandwidth of this particular internet we are using for our IoT is not much more, then IoT is a spoil shot. Okay, so if the speed or better the bandwidth of the internet is much more, the IoT connectivity is much more smoother. Okay, so at least 5G or the Starlink like the satellite connectivity will help IoT to spread here in India. And the 6G, if it launches, then it would be much better. Okay, so let us continue to our discussion. So now how IoT work? Internet of Things is not the result of a single novel technology, as we have to interfere or connect with some physical devices like sensors and actuators. So this is not a simple task to do. Only some internet can not help you until unless you know how to connect the physical devices over there and the working principle and how much data the particular devices, physical devices, the sensors and actuators can work with. Okay. So Internet of Things is basically a bunch of technologies, bunch of novel technologies, I must say, is involved here with. Okay. So instead, several complementary technical developments provide capabilities that taken together help to bridge the gap between the virtual and the physical world. As the internet was the virtual world and the physical world is the sensor data or the actuator data. Over here, we have to be communicator bridge in between the virtual world and the physical world. Okay. So now these capabilities will include some communication and cooperation in between the devices. Then the addressability. Addressability is like that. You have to again generate some IP addresses of your physical devices, which is not a simple task. Then the identification. You have to identify the physical devices on your internet network. Until unless you identify that particular devices on your internet, this particular network will not work. Then we come at the sensing point. So the sensing will again a difficult task for any sensor to sense. Okay, so it requires the proper voltage. It requires some resistance matching or impedance matching over there in the network. Until unless you match the impedance, the electrical or the communication EC guys or instrumentation guys knows what is impedance matching very well. So you have to match the impedance over there. Until unless you match the particular sensors with that particular network, your voltage at the output will not work. So until unless you get the exact voltage in some millivolt, maybe you are getting some millivolt at the sensor level, this millivolt level should be communicated to your virtual or internet. Okay, so this is a basically complex task and these things must be done. Then the actuation, what the alarm should goes on for the case I have already discussed over there for the patient doctor case. The doctor would get some alarm system. The actuation is the result of this alarm system. Then the embedded information processing, obviously the embedded means the hidden information should be processed. That means from the physical data in millivolt level of the sensor data should be communicated towards this virtual level, virtual world. Okay, so that huge internet bandwidth is required. I have mentioned over here. Then localization and user interface. These are the capabilities include. Now, the data collection, the IoT devices have sensors that collect data, maybe the temperature, motion, location, and these devices, after collecting the sensor data, it must convert the data into its millivolt range. Okay, that means from physical to some electrical signal, it must be converting. Then the data transmission, the collected this data should be transmitted through networks like Wi-Fi, okay, directly, maybe Bluetooth through from the wearable to the intermediary smartphones is communicating in between these two is the media is the Bluetooth. Then 4G or 5G, I have mentioned on the wearable devices like the Samsung or Apple, they have some SIM card maybe inserted nowadays, such that the internet connectivity directly has been achieved in your smart wearables. Okay, or LoRa WAN. Okay, then the data processing and analysis in the cloud server. there may be the data may be processed and extract useful meaning, and the action or automation based on the analysis. IoT system take action such as sending alerts to the doctor, in my example, adjusting settings. Okay, so if the doctor is not available was there, it can directly adjust the try to adjust the patient condition, or if not, it in some other cases it will directly start some ACs or like that, or controlling the other devices over here. So this is the action and automation based upon the analysis or action taken. Okay, so now the key components of IoT are the sensors and actuators, detects changes in the environment, maybe the temperature sensor or motion detectors, etc., etc. In the connectivity, it enables data transmissions through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G, etc., etc. Cloud and edge computing stores and processes large volumes of IoT data. Okay, then UI, user interface, you may develop the UI. Okay, apps and dashboards for monitoring and control, and obviously, last but not least, AI and machine learning obviously enhances decision making and automation. Now some applications of IoT are smart homes, smart thermostats, voice assistants like Alexa, Google Home, or Siri. Okay, healthcare, wearable fitness trackers, maybe the smartwatches, remote patient monitoring system. Okay, then the industrial IoT, some smart factories, predictive maintenance will be done over there. In agriculture, smart irrigation, crop monitoring. In smart irrigation system, this particular system can check whether the soil condition, whether the weather condition, etc., and based upon this particular data available, the particular system can decide whether irrigation is required or not, like that. An example of agriculture, IoT in agriculture. And in smart cities, obviously, the intelligent traffic lights, waste management, etc. In intelligent traffic lights, maybe in through one way, the traffic is more, so the particular green light should be timing should be much more than the other channels or other ways uh, traffic light. Okay, so this is the example of smart city. Now there are some challenges in IoT. As I have mentioned, this is not a task of single novel technology. It includes several technologies, like it is the bridge gapping between the internet and some actuators and sensors. Okay, so at present, IoT is faced with many technical challenges, and there are scope to develop. Is the scalability, means the scale at which some temperature sensor is working at the same condition or the same scale, the actuator may not be working. Technological standardization of interoperability. Okay, so the standardization problem is over there. Okay, so supposed to be one sensor is working with one standard and other actuator is working with the other standard, then you have to work with the interoperability, otherwise your sensor and the actuator and the internet technology will not be working. Then the discovery, and then software complexity. Maybe the software developed is much more complex or other things. Data volumes and interpretation, etc. The interaction and short range communication. Obviously, you have to know whether or how much distance it can cover. And as per the distance cover, you have to choose what the internet technology you should use. Number 7 is the wireless communication fault tolerance. Okay, so you have to double sure that your wireless communication is working fine or not, etc. And the other challenges is in IoT may be including like the security and privacy risk. In your system, data breaches and cyber attacks may happen. So you have to give a strong firewall over there. Okay, you have to develop connectivity issues. So as per the networks, your network must be stable connection one, and obviously the standardization and compatibility. The devices you connect is maybe from different manufacturers may not work together, and you have to standardize these and make them compatible over there. Now some future of IoT. With 5G and edge computing, the faster and real-time processing, faster connectivity and real-time processing is possible. And as I mentioned, some Starlink connection is here with Jio and what Airtel is working over here on as per today's news. That means will be getting some satellite connectivity over here for faster 5G and edge computing. And obviously, we are in the brink of 6G connectivity. And if 6G will be coming in 1-2 years, then 5G will be much more spread. IoT will be much more spreading. With AI integration, smarter automation and decision making will be much more possible. And expansion in industries like healthcare, manufacturing, and smart cities. These over here, some IoTs are the future, and more wearable and smart devices, growth in consumer and industrial IoT. Okay, so this is the today's discussion in the introduction. So and from the next day, we will discuss the syllabus as per MacOut. I'll discuss. Okay. So if there is any question regarding today's class, ask me in this email. I'll be glad to answer over there. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.